Alright, what's happening everybody? I'm your man Akeen and welcome to today's vlog. I'm here to give you my week 5 predictions and key matchups for this week. Starting with Thursday night's matchup between South Florida and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh have been showing lack of consistency at the quarterback position with Tino Sinceri. He really needs to step up this week and do well in that passing game and stretch that offense and take some load off running back Ray Graham. Now, for this matchup, I'm going to have to go with the Bulls of South Florida in this game because B.J. Daniels has been playing brilliantly for the past couple of weeks. He's an underrated dual threat quarterback, and people do forget that he can run the ball, and his passing game has improved this season. So, I'm going to have to go with the Bulls in this matchup. The next game to look at, Texas A&M, number 14 ranked team in the nation, against number 18 Arkansas. Both teams have suffered some terrible losses last week. Texas A&M having a close loss to Oklahoma State, and Arkansas losing to Alabama. And I think both teams really need to rebound for this matchup. Now, the key thing for this game is Arkansas's passing game. They probably going to stick with the same game plan that Oklahoma State did, and spreading that offense and stretching the field with the passing game. And they have great receivers for the Arkansas Razorbacks. But Texas A&M, I think they're gonna rekindle for what they did last week and spark up that defense, and I think they're going to stop the Arkansas Razorbacks passing game and force them to run the football with Ringo Jr. a lot more. So I'm going to have to go with the Aggies in this matchup, but I think it's going to be a close game. The next game to look at, another SEC matchup, Mississippi State against Georgia. Georgia has been sparking up for the past couple of games, beating Coastal Carolina, and then last week Ole Miss, and I think they're starting to rekindle that fire and get the engine going with this team. So I'm going to have to go with the Bulldogs in this one. The next game to look at could be an upset. Auburn at number 10 South Carolina. South Carolina has been dependent so much on that running game and Marcus Lattimore. In my opinion, one thing they really need to work on is their turnover margins. They lead the FBS schools with 11 giveaways this season, leading all these BCS conference schools, and I think they really need to improve that. Also, they need to use Alshon Jeffrey a lot more in that receiving corps. Jeff Garcia needs to get back into a decent quarterback, lobbing the ball to Alshon Jeffrey, because Alshon Jeffrey is a key playmaker for the Gamecocks. For this game, I'm going to have to go with South Carolina. I think they're going to end up just boosting up a little bit, using Alshon Jeffrey more in this matchup, and I think they're going to win this game. Next game to look at, number 15 Baylor is going to Kansas State. Kansas State had a good win last week, 28-24 over the Miami Hurricanes due to a goal line stand, and I think that was a great victory. They're going to face a tough Baylor team led by quarterback Robert Griffin, who was 29 for 33 last week with 5 touchdowns. I think he's going to have another good performance, so I'm going to have to go with the Bears in this matchup. The next game to look at, Michigan State is going to be playing at Ohio State. This is going to be an interesting matchup because Ohio State has been dealing with a quarterback issue with Joe Bowserman and Braxton Miller, but Braxton Miller is going to be that starting quarterback for this matchup, and as a true freshman, he already needs to step up and to be a great playmaker for this matchup. So a lot of pressure is on him. So for this game, I'm going to have to go with the Spartans only because they have a lot more experience with quarterback Kirk Cousins, and plus they have a good set of running backs with Edwin Baker and Le'Veon Bell, who had 10 yards per carry last week against Central Michigan. Also, B.J. Cunningham, the top leading receiver. I think they have a good offensive weapon, so I'm going to have to go with the Spartans in this matchup. Next game to look at is another upset alert. Iowa State is going to be hosting number 17 Texas. The Cyclones beat Texas last season, and this is a battle of two unbeaten squads. And for this matchup, I'm going to have to go with the Longhorns to get that revenge game, but this could be an upset alert. I might be wrong, but I'm going to have to go with the Longhorns for this matchup. The next game to look at is it's a little bit of a good Big Ten rivalry, the battle for the Brown Jug between Michigan and Minnesota. Michigan should crush Minnesota. Minnesota's 1-3 this season, including a loss to South Dakota State, and that pretty much says it all. I'm going to have to go with the Michigan Wolverines for this matchup. The next game to look at is another revenge game between Boise State and Nevada. Nevada's spoiled Boise State's BCS hopes last season, making them lose and not making it to a BCS bowl game, and giving Boise State their only loss of the season. I think Boise State's going to bounce back and make it away into the BCS, maybe the national championship, and become a BCS buster. So I'm going to have to go with the Broncos in this one. The next game is a speedy matchup between two good speedy teams in the ACC conference, another battle of unbeatens. Clemson is going to go to Virginia Tech to face the Hokies. Clemson's ranked number 13 and Virginia Tech is ranked number 11. Both these teams have good offenses, but Frank Beaver has a better defense. They're sixth in the nation and allows points. They average just 10 points a game defensively, and I think they're going to end up giving Clemson a hard run for this matchup. But it's tough to choose who's going to win this game because Clemson has been on fire with big wins over Auburn and last week against Florida State. For some reason, I'm going to have to go with Clemson in this one, only because of the emergence of Sammy Watkins, the true freshman. He's having a great season. Todd's boys having good chemistry at that, and also they have good running backs, especially with Andre Ellington. Now, David Wilson is their star running back for the Virginia Tech Hokies, but I think because of all these weapons on Clemson's side, I think Clemson is going to win this matchup. The next game to look at, Alabama is going to be facing number 12 Florida. Alabama is the third-ranked team in the nation, and for some reason, I'm so sorry to tell everybody, this is my upset pick of the week. I know a lot of people are going to be shocked in this one. I had a hard time figuring out who's going to be my upset pick of the week, but I'm going to have to go with the Florida Gators over the Alabama Crimson Tide, only because they have speedy running backs in Jeff Demps and Chris Rainey, and I think they could be good offensive weapons for this matchup, good all-purpose backs for this game. Now, the defense for Alabama is sick, and I think they're going to give Florida a hard time, but I think because of A.J. McCarron, he's not that great of a quarterback in my opinion. He's a decent quarterback, but I think he really needs to step up for this matchup, and I think at the Swamp, it's a lot of pressure. It's in a hostile environment. Plus, Jeff Denson and Chris Rainey are going to be leading the way for that Florida offense, and the key for this matchup is that front seven defensively. I said this before, Alabama does have the best defense, but I think Florida's going to give them a run for their money, and it's going to be a close matchup in the Swamp with a Florida victory. I think it's going to be at least a field goal, 3 points or less victory in my opinion. It's going to be a great game to watch. Next game to look at, UCLA is going to be playing number 6 Stanford. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one. Andrew Luck should have a good game. Another couple of good games to look at, SMU is going to be playing at TCU. TCU's 20th ranked team in the nation. I'm going to go with TCU in this matchup, and a Pac-12 matchup between Utah hosting Washington. Both teams are pretty much even in talent, but I'm going to have to go with the Utes only because it's a home field advantage, and I think they're building up a good program at Utah. And now it's time for my game of the week. A game between another two sets of two unbeatens. Number 8 Nebraska against number 7 Wisconsin. Now this can be a preview of the Big Ten Championship this season because both teams are in different divisions, the Leader and the Legends division. Now Wisconsin, I think they have a little bit more of an edge for this matchup only because they have a better quarterback and Russell Wilson over Taylor Martinez. Taylor Martinez is a sick quarterback, but he is known for running the football. But in Russell Wilson, he could give you another dimension. He's a good mobile quarterback who has the ability to pass that football as well. He could run, passing, he could do anything they need. Also, they have a good set of playmakers on that offensive side for the Badgers, like Nick Toon and the running back Monty Ball, who will give you the bulk of the carries and have a good game. Now, this is going to be a hard pick because both these teams have great dynamic offenses and good dynamic quarterbacks, but I have to go with Wisconsin only because they're the defending Big Ten champions, and they have just another dimension on offense, a better dimension on offense than Nebraska. So I'm going to have to go with the Badgers in this matchup. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys is on Monday for the recap of Week 5, and then I'm just going to keep you with the latest news in college football at that. I'll catch you on Monday. Thank you for watching today's blog from Sports News Insider. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.